Do you think we'll ever
else?
see the Oddworld through a VR?
We're dabbling, but here's my honest opinion on how to approach the VR as a designer.
Okay.
Don't try to force fit other IPs into this new science.
Yes, please.
Treat this new science as something that you want to understand from its soup DNA upward, and then grow new crops out from those limitations. Because here's what's going to happen: there's going to be a lot of designers that blame the technology for why their audience has a 7-hour headache, right? And they're like, because the technology's not there yet. And it's like, no, because you suck as a designer. That's why everyone's getting sick, because the technology is good enough now that if you were applying those sciences, and look, like it's a big discovery process, right? And everyone's going through it. But if we understand it, this didn't happen overnight. This is not new. Astronauts have had this problem. Pilots have had this problem. Motion-based theaters and theme parks have had this problem. 3D films have had degrees of this problem. Simulators have had this problem. So this is not a new science. But the game industry, you talk to guys and they're like, I don't need to pay attention to that. Look at this cool shit I'm going to do. And you're like, that's great, man. And please YouTube the vomit for me, right? Because it's going to be projectiling all over the place.
Players spinning around in VR, the opposite way their head's going. That's super great.
So the truth before he rounded off, Rami said he was going to work on a vomit simulator for VR. So,
I think
just go that route with it.
It's possibilities there, I mean, it could fly.
Keeps jumping behind couches of people. I think people might barf all over the place.
But what we're going to have is we're going to have a real good excuse that's not true, that they're blaming technology for design faults. And that's where I think reverse engineering IP into VR is probably not the best way to start. Instead, understand VR and then emerge outwards. And we see that happening. You talk about the heist. We look at the Walking Dead double. We look at things that different people were doing and it actually worked, but it's all built on constraints, And they go, but my other shooter doesn't really work, so they don't have the technology right yet. And it's like, no, you don't have your mind space right yet around the problem that we're facing.
Right.
I could listen to this all day. This is my favorite thing that I've ever heard in the world.
Thank you. Let's hang out more often, man.
Lorne, anytime, Lorne. I'm here for you. When I yell on the phone, I will listen to you talk for hours. It's great.
Awesome.
Church.
Yeah, that's definitely seemed like the thing is, and you go back to the first Oculus getting out there and people like, oh, you make Half-Life 2 playable with it. It's like, yeah, you can do a lot of things. But why would you do that?
You can cut your wrist too.
Right. It's like, I can play multiplayer TF2 and look one way and shoot the other, and then that's a nightmare.